So I don't know if I've ever told you the story about how Gabe and I met and how we became vegan together. So when me and Gabe went to college, it was about our senior year. Gabe was actually 2 years ahead of me. He dropped out, came back, and entered my class. And we were in a couple classes together, and we were in a play together that one of our good friends put on a senior project, and then eventually went up again during the summer in a semi-professional theater here in Seattle. And literally, Gabe and he basically gave me a concussion because during the show, he kind of slipped and fell underneath my head, and my head went back, and I hit my head on his head. And that night, he was like, "You can't go home. You have to stay up. I have to keep you up." And so I went over to his house. We hung out. Next day, we went out to breakfast. I remember he had some bacon and eggs, I think, and I think I had a vegetarian omelet. And I had been vegetarian since I was about 21, so a good couple years. The reason I went vegetarian was because I just never grew up with meat too much around. I mean, my mom did make some meat here or there, but I was never like a huge meat eater. And once I went to college, there was a lot of more open-minded people who were making vegan and vegetarian dishes, and that were just opening my mind. I was like, wow. I started dating a guy who was vegetarian, and I asked him, I said, "Why don't you eat meat?" And he said, "Because it just doesn't look like food to me. It looks like plastic." And I was like, that kind of makes sense. So that was when I went vegetarian, probably about the age of 21. I'm 30 now. And when I started dating Gabe, I took him out to a vegetarian vegan restaurant called Bamboo Garden down in Seattle, and it's an amazing, like, Asian, kind of like Pan-Asian, mostly fried food type of place, but amazing food. They also had a lot of like pamphlets about the abuses that go on in the animal agriculture industry. And from that moment on, Gabe challenged himself to go vegetarian. Now, of course, when you go vegetarian, a lot of times you up the cheese and dairy, and then you also, during that time, we drank quite a lot. We moved to Chicago. There's deep dish pizza, and it's very much a eating, foodie culture there, lots of drinking. So we definitely weren't healthy vegetarians. But at a certain point, Gabe really wanted to start getting healthy, and it was kind of his initiative to start looking into different diets. We kind of dabbled back and forth from doing a little bit of pescatarian because we thought we needed protein, and salmon was like the best source of some sort. And then we started dabbling in raw foods, and Gabe discovered that, and we kind of got like on a meal plan. I did a little bit of that. And then when we decided we were going to get married, decided right after we were going to get married back in 2010, August 20th, that we were going to go vegan. So after that, we went vegan. Of course, we had a couple mixes up, with eating a couple of times some animal products after that, but we went vegan, and then we decided to go actually more fruitarian, raw-based when we started to discover Durian Rider and Freely, and man, it's like no turning back from there. I mean, we really just like, basically vegan was the thing, and it wasn't even really till recently, since we moved back to Seattle, that veganism became more of an ethical stance for us. And it has to do with, partly me wanting to have future generations be able to experience a life where there are vibrant oceans full of life, and live in a world where we are not consuming animal products to the point that we're just destroying our health with diabetes, cancer, heart disease, and just needlessly killing animals for the sake of taste. So that's why I personally have been speaking out against animal agriculture and humane slaughter, which is definitely a lie to try to get otherwise compassionate, conscious consumers to basically ignore their moral ethics that they shouldn't be killing animals for the sake of your taste buds, when there are so many alternatives out there that you can eat. You definitely don't have to give up, the comfort foods that you love. It's not a sacrifice whatsoever. It's just a change of heart. So that's basically what happened with me and Gabe. It's been a long, crazy ride, and So tell us in the comments below, what made you go vegan, or who influenced you? What, were the steps that you took? How long did it take? For me, from vegetarian at 21 to 30 years of age, that's about 9 years of experimenting, and finally now I start to feel like I kind of got it right for myself. I don't really have to keep track of my calories. I eat enough calories. I think I'm getting a good variety of ripe, raw, fresh fruits and vegetables, in addition with some, sometimes some low-fat, low-sodium cooked meals, and then sometimes I like to try new things at different restaurants that may be a little bit higher fat or slightly more processed, but those are always, something I try not to do all the time. But yeah, let us know what you have found in your cliched journey. I hate that word journey, but just like, what have you experienced as you've come along to be a vegan? Alrighty, thanks for subscribing. Love you. Bye.